Hello, and welcome to this webinar designed to provide an overview of the CTE program application and renewal process for CTE programs of study at the secondary level. Thank you for joining us. This webinar focuses on program application and renewals for CTE programs of study in education and training, which includes focus areas in early childhood education and teacher education training. All CTE programs of study renew on a cycle, and the Education and Training Career Cluster is due for renewal this year. The schedule for program renewal is published in several places, including the ODE CTE pages and the CTE Policy Guidebook, which is accessible from the CTE pages. A statewide program of study framework has been developed for programs in this career cluster, along with the focus areas of teacher education training and early childhood education. We will talk about that statewide framework in a few moments. Part of Oregon's vision for building and improving strong CTE programs of study includes creating voluntary statewide program of study frameworks that will promote greater consistency and quality across the state, ensure more geographical equity, intentionally engage business and industry in the development of CTE programs across the state, and allow for resources to be more efficiently shared among educators. In the current phase, the statewide CTE program of study frameworks that have been developed provide updated knowledge and skills statements to inform CTE program development in each career cluster. The updated knowledge and skills statements include employability knowledge and skills, career cluster knowledge and skills, and focus area knowledge and skills. Within each career cluster, CTE programs of study may be offered at the cluster or the focus area level. Cluster level programs of study offer students in high schools a broad overview of careers in the field, along with skills that are valued by all industry partners. Focus area programs of study offer students more occupationally specific training that may lead to industry-recognized certificates and degrees. As statewide programs of study evolve, future elements include statewide professional learning communities for teachers in each career cluster, readily identifiable community college program partners, shared course offerings and resource materials across the state, and a CTE-IS system that will have much of this information pre-populated when programs are renewed or new program applications are submitted. For now, the CTE-IS system requires manual input of this information. In Oregon, the CTE program of study is the cornerstone of CTE programming. In Perkins 5, the term program of study means a coordinated, non-duplicative sequence of academic and technical content at the secondary and post-secondary levels. This content incorporates challenging state academic standards, addresses both academic and technical knowledge and skills, including employability skills, is aligned with the needs of industries in the economy of the state, region, or local area, progresses in specificity from a broad overview at the cluster level to occupation-specific instruction at the focus area level, has multiple entry and exit points, and culminates in the attainment of a recognized post-secondary credential and/or degree. All CTE programs of study must address the 6 elements of CTE programs of study as you see on this slide. By June 2024, all CTE programs of study in Oregon must include at least 3 credits offered at in high school. Oregon adopted a CTE program of study quality rubric built around these 6 core elements. The rubric is a tool to help educators and administrators evaluate the health of their CTE programs. The rubric should be used during program renewal to create goals for program improvement and can be used more regularly for continuous program improvement.
This webinar is intended to accompany and support the Guide to Using the Oregon CTE Program of Study application document that was recently released. It provides users with the knowledge and support and step-by-step directions to submit their CTE program applications. Whether it's a startup, a new full program, or a renewal, all CTE program applications must be completed in the CTE information system. School districts must work together with their local CTE regional coordinators when they are ready to start the application process for any CTE program. These partners offer a wealth of knowledge and experience with program of study development and the application processes. And the CTE program application described in this guidance is a small part of the more extensive program design process that's intended to help Oregon high schools and community colleges support and prepare students with industry-based technical and academic knowledge and skills needed for success in secondary and post-secondary education and high-wage, in-demand careers. The program applications are accepted on a rolling basis and will be reviewed by ODE within 2 to 6 weeks of receiving them. Please remember that all applications are due by June 30th to be approved for the 23-24 school year. Within the CTE information system, there are 3 roles of users, and each user or role has specific tasks that are associated with them, and there are some tasks that all of the roles can help with. There are regional coordinator, local administrators, which would help with entering maybe course or information to a matrix, and then the lead teachers of the programs. And some examples of specific tasks would be regional coordinators must initiate new applications, and they must add the teachers to the program application, and they must add the basic information to the program, like which school and which program area. And then specific to the lead teachers or local admin, there is the matrix that only they can fill out. And then there are some other areas or sections or tasks within the application that all 3 of those roles can help fill out. And we will go over those and now. So here is a view of some of the actions, most of the actions required in the application process, and whether that action is associated with a startup application, a full application, or a renewal application, because there are some slight differences on the 3 application types. And you can see which of those 3 roles is responsible or included in completing that action. So for all 3 application types, the regional coordinator will initiate the application. For adding the courses to the course matrix, for all 3 application types, the local admin or lead teacher needs to complete that task. For the additional components of a program of study, which is those select program offering areas with work-based learning or industry recognized credentials, or the career and technical student organization, or shortened to CTSO. All 3 of the roles can fill out those program offering areas. And one difference you'll see there is that on the work-based learning program offering row, that is only available on the full and renewal application types. The same with the community college partnership. That is only required on the full and renewal applications, and that must be completed by the regional coordinator role. And then there are the student support service comment box, the accountability and evaluation comment box, and the professional development comment box. Those can be filled out by any of the 3 roles. And you'll also see that there is a little difference in the application type for those 3 comment boxes and where they show up. And then the last row there is startup cost, and that is specific to a startup application and asks about how much it will, how much money will go to starting up the program. And those fields can be filled out by any of those 3 roles. Everyone will sign into the CTE information system through the ODE district website. And once within the CTE information system, or CTEIS, regional coordinators will select the Start New Application option under the Program of Study application option in the main menu. And then a blank Program of Study application will open and is ready to be filled out. The first thing to do on that blank application is select which application type this will be. Will it be a full, renewal, or startup application? And there are some fields that are grayed out, and that's because that information will be manually added or can't be added until you've selected other pieces. So for the career area, then the cluster area will be editable, and then the focus area will be editable. And as a reminder, if you are submitting a program of study at the cluster level, you'll select the general option in the focus area dropdown, because the system does require at this time that a focus area is selected. The program framework dropdown is used to indicate whether a program will be part of the statewide model or continue as a locally developed program. And we talked about the benefits of the statewide program of study earlier in the presentation. And as we evolve that statewide model, much of the information in this application will be pre-populated in the system for you when the statewide framework option is selected for the program framework. But because we're not there yet, the information does still have to be entered manually at this time. For those program offerings in the additional components of a high quality program of study section of the application, regional coordinators and lead teacher or local admin all have the ability to select the appropriate options in these fields that are applicable to the program. The work-based learning is a required element of CTE programs of study, as is the career and technical student organization, or CTSO. And typically the student leadership opportunities are a CTSO, but if a CTSO is not part of your program, then student leadership opportunities should be identified in the student support services comment box. And the dropdown will need to, the selection in the dropdown should be the locally developed student leadership opportunities option. And the secondary industry recognized credential dropdown will list all of the approved IRCs in Oregon. If you would like to review that list outside of the system, the link for the approved IRCs can be found in our application guide. And you can review through that link all of the approved IRCs. If an IRC seems to be missing from the list in the system, please check the list that's linked in the application guide and look to see if that IRC has been approved. If the IRC that you're looking for is not on the approved list, then you would need to make a request for that IRC to be approved by ODE to be added to the list. Adding a program to the community college grid is a requirement for full and renewal applications to be submitted to ODE. and it can be added at any point in the application process prior to actual submission to ODE. Regional coordinators should add any post-secondary programs that the secondary program aligns with to the community college grid. Which community college program that's chosen depends on the relationship that has been developed to align course offerings and implement the program. Community college partners will be members that are part of your advisory committees or maybe part of the professional learning communities. When selecting the community college program in the community college grid, you'll select the chosen institution, the community college, and then the program title from a drop-down list. If the program title doesn't appear in that drop-down list, you'll want to contact the person listed in the application guide to inquire why that is not a program that's showing up as one of the currently active offerings at the chosen institution. The comment are listed here, and they show up a little differently on each of the application types. The full new application lists all 3 of the comment boxes you see here. The renewal application only lists the student support services comment box, and the startup application doesn't list any of these 3 comment boxes. In the student support services box, please provide information about the supports available to assist students in progressing through a CTE program of study. In the accountability and evaluation comment box, there should be an explanation describing how each of the elements listed within the application guide will be addressed. And in the professional development comment box, there should be 2 long-term professional development goals covering the 4-year renewal cycle. And there is more information and examples about what to put in those comment boxes listed in the application guide.
The course matrix serves 2 important functions in the application process, one programmatic and one data related. Lead teachers should utilize the matrix to show the depth, sequence of courses that progress from introductory to advanced content of their program by adding course information for the CTE program of study. The knowledge and skill statements you see describe the learning expectations of students in CTE programs. In the statewide program of study framework, the knowledge and skill sets include cross-cutting employability knowledge and skills, cross-cutting career cluster knowledge and skills, and focus area knowledge and skills. Courses entered into the matrix serve as validation for the CTE course collection that is submitted every spring and informs the state and federal reporting done by ODE. All CTE programs of study are required to provide students with the full range of knowledge and skill statements over the course of the high school and community college programs. The knowledge and skill statements are required to be taught. However, the checkboxes are not required fields in the CTE-IS system. As we conclude today's webinar, I would like to draw your attention to some resources that may be useful as you begin your program application or renewal. First is the Guide for Secondary CTE Program Applications and Renewals. This comprehensive resource provides complete information for submitting applications and renewals in the CTE information system. Second is the list of CTE regional coordinators across the state. These colleagues are an integral part of the application process and are a valuable resource in the development of CTE programming. Third is a link to the CTE information system where you will input applications. And fourth is the statewide CTE Education and Training Framework Resource Guide. This document provides an overview of the statewide programs of study development process and updated knowledge and skill statements. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate all you do to support students and CTE programs of study. We wish you the best as you embark on the program application and renewal process. Please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions.